Hello, John. We're back again with Not Even Nominated. Tell us a little bit about it and who's your victim this time.
Thanks, Nick. Well, as you may know, we're talking about my book, Not Even Nominated, 40 Overlooked Co-Stars of Oscar-Winning Performances. Somebody in the movie won an Oscar, somebody else in the movie wasn't even nominated, and that person is just as good, sometimes even better than the person who got that Oscar. Today we're going to talk about Joel McCrea in the More The Merrier from 1943. Charles Coburn won as Best Supporting Actor that year. Co-star Jean Arthur was nominated as Best Actress. She didn't win. And Joel McCrea was not nominated as Best Actor. They're all fabulous. Charles Coburn is hilarious, playing kind of the matchmaker to the other two. Jean Arthur is totally delightful, one of my favorite comic actresses. But Joel McCrea, as so often was the case, was easy to overlook or take for granted because he always made everything look so easy. He was so natural, so charming, so real. He never seemed to be an actor. He just seemed to be whatever guy he was playing. And if you know anything about me and what I write about, you know that Joel McCrea is my favorite movie actor of Hollywood's golden age. I'm not saying he's the greatest actor of that era, but he's certainly my favorite. He's the one that I am always happy to see. I like him in everything. He's way more versatile than I think people gave him credit for. Equally good in drama and comedy. He did a lot of westerns, particularly after a certain point where he just committed to that genre from, say, the late 40s throughout the 50s and 60s. He's in the great Ride the High Country with Randolph Scott in 1962. But anyway, he was always terrific, and he really broke out in the early 1930s when you could see he's often cast as just a good-looking guy to be handsome and tall, but he was good, and you could see him getting better. You could see directors wanting to work with this guy. And then William Wyler uses him in These Three and Dead End, and then Hitchcock uses him for Foreign Correspondent. Preston Sturges used him in two of his best movies, Sullivan's Travels and The Palm Beach Story. He has chemistry with just about every leading lady he worked with. He's so generous, he pays such close attention to them, and you can see them responding to him. And particularly in this movie, the most famous scene is a kind of seduction foreplay scene on the front steps of the apartment building with McCrea kind of putting the moves on Jean Arthur and her trying to resist, but not too hard. And it's sexy and funny and adorable. And basically the premise is it's the housing shortage in Washington, D.C. during World War II. And it's Jean Arthur's apartment, and she's sharing it now with Charles Coburn and Joel McCrea. And so that's the setup. And of course...
A throuple.
Not quite a throuple, but the old guys try to bring the young couple together, or make them a couple. And it's really fun. And the director's George Stevens, who's so good at this kind of thing. And like I said, McCrea... they often said he was the guy you got if you couldn't get Gary Cooper, which was basically true. Hitchcock wanted Gary Cooper for Foreign Correspondent, but he took Joel McCrea. But I don't think anyone was ever dissatisfied when they got Joel McCrea because he's always so good. And he was a major star, just not a superstar. And so, like I said, he's such a great light comedian in the kind of Cary Grant style, but more of sort of an everyman American guy, where, you know, Cary Grant was from England and he always had that more sophisticated sheen on whatever he was doing. And McCrea was, I think, just as good, just as funny, just in a more, like I said, regular Joe kind of category.
It seems like he never had a problem getting work.
He never had a problem getting work.
Thanks again, John.
Thanks.